Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. Enjoy one of the last weekends with no snow, and it's not too windy even. I woke up and heard it in the night, but it's nice now, and we raked leaves this morning. I'm Brigitte Paul. I'm a member of your board. I'm here to welcome you to this church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a welcome card. You'll find them in front of you in the pew. And drop it in the offering basket so we can share information about our activities and help find what nourishes your spirit here. There are note cards in your pew for writing joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a square basket during the offering to gather these. Write your name or remain anonymous. You can write "do not share" on the card. If there's something you want held in care by our minister and pastoral care team, but not spoken aloud. Many activities and events happen each week in this community, and here are a few coming up soon. If you look in your order of service, you will see stuff on the back, so be sure to take a look. The front side is what we're doing today. The little insert has announcements on the back. So we have several activities during the week. I wanted to we had Juniper and Susan and Cindy Paul and I helped at the Day of the Dead activity for the museum yesterday. So that was super helpful. We did that in tandem with the ethical justice group that's helping with immigration justice work. One of our goals is to be in the community amongst the people that we're supporting. And so those activities come up if you're in our group. I also wanted to mention that November 5th, which is this coming Wednesday, we are, as the Ethical Justice Group, addressing 287G agreements. And if you don't know what that is, it's an agreement that a sheriff makes to allow their staff to help ICE in a community. And currently, along the I-80 and I-80 and I-25 border, yeah. And we are at a nexus point for that. You know, we are at the cross point between I-25 and I-80. Every sheriff has agreed to the 287G except Albany County Laramie Sheriff and the Teton County Jackson Sheriff. But COSAC seems very comfortable being willing to use our resources and our tax money to allow sheriffs in our county to help with ICE. And ICE is here. They are taking people. Our group is in a chatter it's a secure private chatter with the Immigration Coalition, and I get pictures of ICE. I think one of our things will be to have a training about what you do if you see ICE in the community and how you can best support our immigration community. That's to come. But November 5th at Jen Solis's house, she has an extra house. We call it Casa West. We use it for community organizing. And if you want to know what the address is, again, and you don't get it written down, I will tell you. I'll be here until 11:45. But it's 3521 Moore Avenue. And there, from 5 to 9, you can drop in and write. We've identified the people that need to hear from us that it's not something we want our tax money spent on, or we don't want to scare our community members that way. And so there's a postcard writing campaign. If you can't come next Sunday, which we will do it here in-house after service on the 9th, but if you want to leave after church or you have something else going on, you can go to Casa West. It's from 5 to 9. It's a drop-in, get some postcards written and set out. So those are 2 activities this month. And then December 20th, we want to do a tamale making activity. So keep that on your radar. We'll let you guys know, and people can say if they want to come, and we'll get all the supplies and we'll make tamales for the afternoon here. And I think that's all. There's nothing on the back side of this. So thanks.
Thank you. And while Stephen's coming up to tell us about our time for generosity, I'll also just remind y'all that it is a potluck Sunday. So please stay, whether you have brought food or brought hungry stomachs. We would love to have you after the service in the social hall.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Medeiros. I'm with Share the Plate. We gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of this church and share our abundance with the community and organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in the order of service, or use your realm app for electronic giving, or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the baskets in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for the month, for this month of November, is Veterans Rock. And please let's welcome Mr. Daryl Haugen to tell us more about what they do for their work. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us again. Veterans Rock. They do. Right now, just give you some background about us. We were formed in 2020 by Cindy Stockdale. She used to work for the VA, and she saw some holes that were happening, so she wanted to make sure that those who served and took care of us are taken care of. So we formed, and 5 years later, here we are. Our office on South Greeley Highway, if you know where the Red Cross ambulance is, that's our building. We're in there. We serve, since 2020, we have served around 900 veterans and active duty service members. And just for that reason, we do serve active duty as well. We're not just there for veterans, we're there to serve everyone who has served us, to give us our freedoms. Right now, we're working with the Military Affairs Committee, doing food drives across the city, RE/MAX, Habitat, H Home Loans, a bunch of different organizations are gathering food, bringing it to Veterans Rock, and we're taking it out to the base, to their food pantry out there. So far, we've taken about 4,000 pounds of food out there, and I probably have another 1,000 pounds back in my back room that I got to get out there this week. So we're still standing behind our military, trying to help them in this time of need. Not giving up our food pantry that we help about, it's gone up since last month. So we're helping about 80 veterans a month in our food pantry. So keeping all that in mind, we are not government funded. So that has helped us immensely since all this havoc has been going on. We are totally funded by the community, the great community partners we have, the fundraisers that people do for us, the generosity of just everyone in the state that sends us donations to help us out. So we appreciate everything that we get. We always say $1 is better than nothing, because that can go help someone with their electric bill their rent, a broken down car. Right now, we're getting a lot of requests for gas cards from our active duty because they're not getting paid, but they still have to show up for work. And they don't have the funds to get gas. So we're helping them out with those. But throughout the next 4 weeks after today, I will give you more information about what we actually do at Veterans Rock, and I'll try and bring some props and stuff with me. This month just snuck up on me really fast. It's like Stephen stopped by last week and said, Sunday. It's like, what? Sunday already? What? So I appreciate, again, everything you guys do for us. Please swing by the office. We're open 10 to 4, Monday through Friday. Look at what we do. Come, we'll give you a tour of the office so you can see exactly what we have available that's been gifted by community members like yourselves. Everything we have there is 100% free to veterans. They don't pay for anything in our office. And so we just want to make sure that they're taken care of. So again, I'm sorry I have to leave. I have another engagement, but I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I will see you next week.
Oh, it's on the other side, so just grab this and walk. We wanted to sort of. And so it is with deep gratitude that we receive this morning's offering for the work of this church and for our wider community. William Stafford writes, "If you don't know the kind of person I am, and I don't know the kind of person that you are, a pattern that others made may prevail in the world, and following the wrong God home, we may miss our star. For there is many a small betrayal in the mind, a shrug that lets the fragile sequence break with shouts, the horrible errors of childhood storming out to play through the broken dike. And as elephants parade, holding each elephant's tail, but if one wanders, the circus won't find the park. I call it cruel and maybe the root of all cruelty, to know what occurs but not recognize the fact. And so I appeal to a voice, to something so shadowy, a remote, important region in all who talk. Though we could fool each other, we should consider, lest the parade of our mutual life get lost in the dark. For it is important that awake people be awake, or a breaking line might discourage them back to sleep. The signals we give, yes or no, or maybe, should be clear. The darkness around us is deep. Today, let us follow one another into worship, into sacred space, and let us give thanks for the joy of being together today. And so for our opening hymn, I invite you to turn to hymn number 1010 in your teal hymnals, rising in body or in spirit, coming up if you feel so moved to join carol and hymn leadership. As we give thanks this day, we'll play twice through, singing This Time We Share each time. We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks, oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Nicely done. And so, let us light our chimes.
Okay, where are we? In these wild, historic, and uncertain times, we gather to remember who we are, who we belong to, and what we are called to do. As we light this chalice, we kindle the spirit of the great turning, the movement for justice alive in this nation today. May we feel it in our bones and in the stillness of this hour. May we sense it calling our name.
And with our chalice lit, our voices, our thoughts gathered, may we join together in a spirit of prayer, a spirit of meditation, spirit of life, spirit of all, that which centers us in meaning and in knowledge of one another. Today we gather to be with one another This week and every week, let us support each other and be a comfort in hard times. Let us celebrate together and amplify what is joyful. Let us dwell together in the wonder and the mystery of this magnificent, precious, ever-changing life. Today, we share in joy, for Jed's birthday is on November 5th. He's turning 28 and would appreciate suggestions on how to celebrate that milestone. And we hold care as well for Potato the cat, who is having surgery on November 12th. Let us send thoughts for a successful surgery and a smooth recovery. And let our prayers reach out for those who are experiencing hardship, waiting on disability payments or SNAP benefits that may simply not come this month. For those experiencing insecurity around homes, around food, around pay, around care for children whose daycares still need to be paid. For all those who live lives that are meaningful and wonderful and just this far away from a moment of not being able to make it. Let us hold them in care not only in our hearts, but knowing that if we have a little extra, that this is a moment when we may be part of the blessing by reaching out, by finding out if our friends and our families are okay, and what we might do to help. We have, of course, our Share the Plate partners, but also there are little free pantries where you could drop off a bag of flour, a box of cereal, a few cans of soup, whatever you can spare. For this wider community is filled with people who are doing hard and good work and whose paychecks are not going to arrive when they were anticipated. And so let us hold in our hearts all of those being affected by this government shutdown. Let us hope and pray that enough good people will make enough good choices to turn us back to a healthy and thriving society. And let us also reach out in prayer for our immigrant communities who are feeling the terror and the pain of having community members disappear each week. Let us hold in our hearts all those worried about wrongful incarceration of all those they love. Let us hold as well in our hearts, even a little farther, those whose boats and lives have been lost because of the U.S. aggression in the Caribbean, and all those who are still impacted by war in Gaza and Ukraine. For all people, we offer our blessings and our hopes for peace and goodwill and kindness over all. And so as we give thanks for the ever-changing earth and for that extra hour of sleep that helps us to be our better selves this day, let us hold room in our hearts for joys as yet unshared, for sorrows too tender to speak aloud. And may we find in this space peace and comfort and community which enfolds us. Amen. And blessed be. And now, if the young or the young at heart would like to join us on the chancel, we invite you to share in the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages. So we begin our words for this covenant with the most important word, which is love, is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others. So today, I have a couple of objects. This one, I think we can all guess what that is.
Water bottle.
It's a water bottle. It's got water in it. It's not super hot water because I think this water bottle would shrink up and have a problem if I put that in. But we're going to pretend it's hot for the purposes of this story. And then I have another thing. And I don't know if anybody knows what this shape is. A lot of people know what this shape is. It's a surfboard. Fabulous. So we have a surfboard and a bottle of warm water. And those are going to help us tell our story today. Do we have any idea what our story might be about?
Someone who's surfing?
That is a really smart guess. It's not the right thing today. It's even weirder than that. So, today's service is about love and what it means for our faith to place love at the center. This is a story about somebody who thought about love in choosing their actions. So, most of the time, if you see a wild animal outside, what do?
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Wild animals are good at taking care of themselves, even in the winter. But occasionally, there are times when winter weather can become dangerous, even for wild animals. So this is a true story that could have happened anywhere, may have happened to different people or different birds, but this story was in 2024 in Iceland, which is a small island that's very, very far north. It's on level with Canada and Norway, and even like the upper parts of those countries. So it's very cold. The largest city is called Reykjavik. And in early December of 2024, there was a report on a social media page that a young swan had gotten stuck and was frozen in the ice. And people that saw it were afraid that the swan was going to die. They were pretty scared. So, as happens when someone posts on social media, a lot of people commented. Some of them were very worried. Some of them had questions. Some of them had opinions. There were a lot of opinions. And a lot of people wanted to know, is it possible to help? And what can we do? Or what did the swan do to get itself stuck? How come that swan got stuck? Do you think we can ask the swan?
No.
No, they don't even speak English. And they certainly don't post on social media. So there was lots of worry, lots of wondering. There was a picture of the swans standing on the ice of the frozen lake, unable to get out. There was snow on the lake. and someone named Kirsten Langerberger, who describes herself as a naturalist, either as her job or hobby, doesn't really matter, responded and just said, "I am on my way with the necessary equipment." Okay, people said. What do you think is the necessary equipment to save a not fully grown swan who's frozen in ice?
Hot water and a surfboard.
Hot water? Why do you think hot water?
Because that could melt the ice so the swan could get out.
You are exactly on track. Why would we bring a surfboard?
So we wouldn't get stuck in the ice so we could slide on it.
Did you read this ahead of time?
I know.
You just know. That's very good logic. Yeah, so a surfboard, so if too much of the ice melts or it refreezes real fast, you don't get stuck in the ice too. That's really smart. So Kirsten brought one more thing, and we might be able to guess what that could be. What else would you bring if you were going, sorry? Not a boat.
A coat?
She probably did wear a coat. Oh, not swan food. She brought a friend. Bringing a friend so that you're not alone out on the ice was really smart. And Kirsten and her friend and a thermos and a backup surfboard and all of the people cheering them on from near and far were able to thaw the ice and free the swan, and the swan flew away not too long after. And so, there is a moral to this story. When we have hard things that need to get done, it's really important, to do them, to bring the necessary equipment, whatever weird and wacky things that might be, to bring a friend, and not to get stuck so busy posting on social media that you forget to actually go do the thing, to just say, yeah, I'm coming, with the necessary equipment.
Would you actually be able to surf on ice with that?
You probably couldn't surf, but you might be able to drag it along if somebody needed help getting off the ice. And it floats, so if the ice were to break, it would not go down to the bottom, which is very
What
important.
if you had 50 people on it? It wouldn't float.
That's true, you'd need 50 surfboards. So, it's important to think about these things, just in case. But whatever your problem is, whether you need 50 surfboards for 50 people, or just one for a swan and yourself and a friend, whether you need something entirely different, because perhaps it's a different problem altogether, the most important thing is to act now and to help. And usually, the most important thing is to find the person or the being who's right here in need, and to help them out, and to bring a friend. They're such necessary equipment. So that is our story for today. And with that, we will release you back to your seats. If you wish to take a fuzzy friend to accompany you through the rest of worship, you are welcome to do that as well as we return to our seats and to our playground. Thank you all. Where are we?
Our Puritan ancestors believed in predestination. God had chosen the ones who were going to be saved, and the way you prove to others that you were among the worthy was by acting so perfectly correct on the outside that no one had any doubts of your perfection. You know that someone is good on the inside because they act right, earn lots of money, look good, eat right. We still do this today. It's a theology of self-loathing disguised as unworthiness and grace. No matter how perfect you seem and act on the outside, you'll never be good enough, no matter what you do. You should be ashamed of yourself because deep down you're bad and broken and can never be fixed. Shame breeds self-righteousness and self-certainty because the risk of imperfection is shattering. You can never admit a mistake, genuinely apologize, make repair in a relationship, accept forgiveness. It means you can never learn anything new or not know what to do or risk making amends. It's an act of profound bravery to turn away from that kind of living, not once and for all, but day by day, choosing not to live a private theology of your own unworthiness and self-hate. It is an act of love for yourself and for each other to come back home, to being a regular person, to let go of pretend perfection and certainty. That transformation from a stranger to someone already home without knowing it is the invitation and the promise that our congregation offers to each person who enters the door. The invitation into an undivided life, whole in our brokenness. Our work together in song and silence and laughter and hope and tears isn't a denial or avoidance of difficult realities, but an embrace of all that it is to be human. May this community provide a homecoming relief and celebration. Our sacred message this morning is by David Schwartz. Our core reading. I wondered about that.
Yes, I was like, wait, we're down here. We just did that.
The core reading is by Jody Hollander, called My Dark Horses. If only I were more like my dark horses, I wouldn't have to worry all the time that I was running too little and resting too much. I'd spend my hours grazing in the sunlight, taking long naps in the vast pastures. And when it was time to move along, I'd know. I'd spend some time with all those that I'd love, then disappear into a gathering of trees. If only I were more like my dark horses, I wouldn't be so frightened of the storms. Instead, when the clouds began to gather and fill, I'd make my way calmly to the shed and stand close to all the other horses. Together, we'd let the rain fall around us, knowing as darkness passes overhead that above all, this is the time to be still.
And so, out of that stillness, let's start gathering those threads together. Because today, we've had a lot of different things: elephants and surfboards, horses and Puritans. And we are glad of each of these messages, but we need to bring them together. There is thanks to be given for what is good. But often in our lives, there are moments where we get stuck. Perhaps we fell asleep and didn't notice the ice forming. Perhaps there is a storm and we need to wait it out. And instead of going with our old Calvinist Puritan messages and thinking that when things are bad, it is because we have been bad, we should notice that much like the elephants off track, it only takes one small diversion from the course, one step in the darkness, and suddenly that whole train, the whole circus, is off course. We can get diverted so easily, not because we are bad or even making bad choices, but because someone ahead of us in the line, someone else, has mistaken their course, or perhaps because the systems themselves are not set up. Because why are the elephants wandering in the darkness? Maybe somebody could have helped by putting a light or two on. Here in today's world, we think we have escaped the Puritans. But today, that gospel comes back. Sometimes it's called prosperity gospel. You'll hear it in more conservative churches in the idea that if you're giving enough to the church, that will come back to you, that you're going to be well off and well cared for as long as you're giving enough, as long as you're good enough. Oh, but you can never be good enough. You must be saved by grace, and you must come back to church and give us a little more of your paycheck in order to be saved. Some of us have heard those messages. Some of us, instead, have found it in the self-help aisle, the law of attraction, the idea that what you focus on returns to you, which is a lovely idea, As long as I focus on my success, it will come to me. As long as I focus on happiness, I will be happy, and good things will happen in my life. But then you realize, well, if something bad happens, if I get fired from my job, is it because I focused on the wrong thing, because I brought my firing onto myself? What if a car hits me out of the blue in an unexpected accident? Did I bring that upon myself by worrying about whether I was driving safely? It's a victim blaming type of a practice when we get right down to it. Good things don't happen only to good people, and bad things to bad, and it turns into systemic issues like we're seeing right now. If you're only poor because you make bad choices, then removing assistance from the poor sure does seem like a good way to force them into better choices, doesn't it? But that's not how this world works. The poor are poor because our systems have been broken. For years and for decades, we have allowed people with a lot of money to have really loud voices. And people with a lot of money tend to like having money, sometimes more than they like humanity or care for one another. And when I say a lot of money, I'm not talking about those of you that sometimes make $100,000 or $200,000 in a year. That's lovely. Many of you are very generous with those amounts of money. I'm talking about people that make $1 billion or more. People who have built systems that funnel them cash regardless of what they're doing on any given day, because they are simply so big that now, whatever happens, that money keeps multiplying itself. And it keeps multiplying itself because other people's money doesn't. Because people who are poor have to put their cash back out as soon as they make it. And many of you are going, yes, yes, I know. I've already preached this whole sermon to myself. But I need you to know that this is a strain of thought that is going around right now. Whether you call it law of attraction, whether you call it prosperity gospel, whether you call it the evangelical need for grace in this world, that this strain of thought, this you must do good to be good, but you can never be good enough, and so you must act from a place of scarcity, it is toxic, and it leads us to places where we lose our capacity for kindness. And like those elephants, we end up one by one, off and lost in the darkness, the whole circus off track. And so, we must come back to a place of abundance, a place of realizing that what is wrong right now is not a lack of anything. There is enough food in the United States right now to feed every person. It is a question of distribution. There is enough money in the United States to pay for every person's rent, and enough houses to house every unhoused person in this country right now. Whether they are here legally, whether they are documented or not, doesn't matter, because we have enough. We have enough to pay for health care. We have enough. We have enough. And we are enough. And if we can understand that we ourselves are usually trying our best, and so are most of the other people around us most of the time, then we can open our hearts. then instead of this toxicity towards people who are struggling, this set of problems that we have created and then demand that someone else solve on a systemic level, we can come back to the idea that we should just have and offer enough. That if you have a bit more, you can offer it right now. If you have a bit less, it's not through any problem that you yourself have created all alone. Some of those choices might be yours. Some of those choices belong to systems that fail to catch the people they should. But that right now, your next good choice is to ask for help and to know that you deserve as people to get what you need. And there is enough. We also need an abundance beyond an abundance of care for each other, an abundance of skepticism for those who would tell us those people are taking what is yours. Those people have caused the storms that frighten you. Those people are causing the war that we are putting ourselves on the verge of as a country. Those people are humans, more like us than different. These people, immigrants to this country, are people who, like us, have chosen to come and be in places where they have the opportunity for care for themselves and their families, where they have the opportunity to live good lives in comfort, as each and every one of us want. People immigrate for opportunities for sufficiency, for enough, and for community that is safe and where their children can have friends and play in their yards without fear. People move. People need, and people need our care right now. So out of abundance, let us be generous. Let us remember that even when we worry, we may have something that is worth giving, even if it's a hug or a kind word. As Unitarian Universalists, we don't believe that people are in need because they are bad people. We don't believe that people are undocumented because they did it wrong, but because there are systems that are hard to get through. And sometimes our need is greater than our ability to tick all the boxes in exactly the right order. We as Unitarian Universalists make promises, and sometimes we break them, and sometimes we come back and do better. Most of the time, we come back and do better. And instead of asking why the swan is in the ice or accusing the swan of poor judgment for where it sat, we help. We get a bottle of water, get off social media, and go help with a friend. We share what we can when we're off track. Even when the whole circus is off track, we do our best to get our own little line of elephants back on course as best we can. We know that wrong actions don't make us bad or wrong as people, that our humanity is part of why we come here, to be with one another and to try again and again, and to share in what is good and bad when we need help and when we can give it. For that is what makes the church. So today, with all these threads pulled together, what I'm asking of you is to think, what help do I need? And am I able to ask for it of people who might be able to help? What help can I offer? Perhaps I don't have spare food right now, but could take some time to serve at Comea or to hand out food at St. Joseph's Food Pantry. Perhaps I do have spare food. It could come here to church or to Needs or to St. Joseph's. Perhaps, though food may be scarce, you have extras of other things, clothing, or leftover diapers, or something else that you could trade. The Buy Nothing group is super active right now in Cheyenne. There are so many places to help and be helped in mutual aid and mutual care. And when we think of abundance as knowing that we are part of a bigger system, that we give when we can and receive when we need, then we can be part of the interdependent web once more, respecting one another's worth and dignity, and helping again and again. This is what brings us to a holy place, a sacred place, a place of true community. May it be so in our lives. If you'll rise in body or in spirit, our sung response is number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. It's in your teal hymnal. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our stories from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. Please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again. And so, let us carry out into this world abundant care for one another, abundant kindness for those who may be struggling, abundant love for this world, so broken and yet so needful of our care. Let us offer to one another strength and courage and the openness of our hearts. Blessed be.